Vanakkam all, Gomes here from CubenSquare. So today we got a consultation request from a e-commerce client. So they wanted us to build a real-time monitoring system for their scalable application. So the reason why the client approached us is they run a complex infrastructure with various components Nginx, Django, databases like PostgreSQL or MySQL. So they have a plan of setting up a 24/7 monitoring team. Like a L1 team in their country. And they wanted us to build this particular real-time data collection and visualization for all these core components and hand it over to that L1 team. That's their main idea behind this. See, of course, e-commerce and all these industries where uptime and performance are essential. So even a slight delay or a resource bottleneck can impact everything from the user experience. So they wanted to have a strong monitoring solution for this, right? Because mainly when it comes to e-commerce, a slow API response time or a failed database query during a sales event could cost thousands of dollars, right? For instance, currently we're working for one of our client, and our backend is connecting to another API. So whenever the backend is trying to connect to the API and pull the data, there is a delay in pulling up those details. Okay, when we see the seconds, there are some milliseconds of delay, which is not acceptable by our client. So we checked with the third party API team, and they say that things are fine from there. And we asked them to check the incoming connections, how many connections they will accept, how much data they can expose at a time, how many transactions they will be able to export it, and all these things. But they say that everything is fine from their end. We already did check from our infrastructure part, and everything is good, including the application as well. But still, we are deep diving to fix this particular issue along with our client and the support from the third party team. So it is very crucial to monitor all these API response time or all these queries as well. And for this, we are planning to implement planning to use Grafana and Prometheus. I hope you all know that Prometheus and Grafana are the open source monitoring tool, wherein Prometheus is for collecting the metrics and Grafana for visualization. The main part is Grafana is customizable. You can view your data in a way you want. Wherein at the other hand, Prometheus is great for gathering the metrics from different sources. Can be Nginx logs or database performance or hardware sensor, be it anything. Right? They wanted to have a real-time visualization of the CPU load on the server or response times or even cups regarding the printer's queue. So everything is possible with these both. So if I wanted to talk about the monitoring components, for example, Nginx. So Nginx is a very popular web server. So we are going to track the error logs, especially the 400 and 500 logs, along with the request rates and latencies, because a sudden spike in 500 errors might mean that the application behind Nginx is failing. And we always need to be proactive, right? The reason for implementing monitoring and alerting system is we need to be proactive than reactive. Before even we get into a downtime, we have to analyze the issue and fix that. And with respect to Django application monitoring, we are going to monitor and fetch the application error logs, application errors, then request response time, the query performance, the slow queries, which are the queries which are the bottleneck for the performance. Now all these things will be captured. And regarding the server, we are going to monitor and pull the CPU metrics, the memory, the disk space, the network traffic, and all these things. Right? And then mainly they use the automated print jobs. They're using cups printer jobs. So we're going to monitor the print queue as well, so that in case of any disruption, we are going to identify that, monitor the active jobs, the success rates, and printer status as well. Down the line, the client is willing to migrate their applications towards containers. They are going to containerize their application. So they wanted us to provide a view on how the Docker monitoring will be. So we also plan to give the details on Docker monitoring, how we can monitor the container logs, how we can identify even before the container restarts or even crashes, then the CPU, memory utilization of the containers. When it comes to databases, we need to focus on the query performance, right? For PostgreSQL exporters or even MySQL. So we have to ensure that the queries are running efficiently. Monitor the API request success and failure rates, right? And when it comes to security, they have specifically told that there are multiple teams from different regions gonna get access to these servers they are already having. So they wanted to monitor and track the SSH login attempts. I mean, can be a successful or failure along with the firewall logs. They wanted to capture all these things so that they can hand over the logs to the auditors as well. This will mainly help them secure from unauthorized access because, I mean, of course, in e-commerce, they deal with finance and payment gateways along with the sensitive data. So they wanted to capture all these things and they wanted to be audit compliant as well. Finally, with respect to alerting system, they have the respective Slack channels. So they want all the alerts to be routed to the Slack. So in case of any issues, they're just going to use the proactive approach to view that logs, view that alerts and take actions upon that. So with all these things, we are going to implement in our environment. First, we are going to reproduce all these things in our environment. We will have our internship team working on this. So this will be a good opportunity for the interns to come and learn how things work on the real time as well.